What's doing, guys? And today we're doing the X Plus Toho 30cm series MechaGodzilla 1974. Bam! That's what's up. Alright, so check it out. First things first. This is not the Diamond reissue, okay? I picked this figure up in... When did I get this figure? Let's see. It was sometime in 2014. I think it was over the summer, 2014. I can't remember. But I'll get into that in a minute, why I went for the Japanese reissue. So, the Japanese reissue, let's talk about the release date, came out late December 2011, early January 2012, okay? So that's when the Japanese reissue was released. The Diamond reissue came out in November-ish, November time frame of 2013, alright? So, real quick, why did I go for the standard Japanese issue? I'm going to tell you why, okay? Because the Diamond reissue had a leaning problem, and that really turned me off a lot. A lot of collectors found a way to fix the lean. You had to heat it up with your hair dryer, make it squishy soft, or you put it in the box and you made like basically like a squishy soft oven. Bam! And but some figures, some of the leaning Diamond MechaGodzilla 74s would go back to leaning again, and I didn't want a leaning one, so I was like, you know what? If I have to spend a couple extra dollars for the Japanese one, then so be it. You know, and that's what I did. So that's why I went after the Japanese version, okay? Again, 30cm series, MechaGodzilla 74, and it is the standard. I did not get the Rick Boy, but it's not a big deal. I'm going to be honest with you. There was actually a point in time where I was not going to hunt down every X Plus Toho figure, you know, specifically related to the Godzilla films. I do have some of the non-Godzilla film figures, but at one point I was like, you know what, I'm not going to get every figure. And, you know, I had already had the 25cm version of MechaGodzilla 74, so I was like, I'm good. I don't need the 30cm version. You know, I was like, it almost looks the same and everything. But I am so glad I got this, because when I got this figure and I took it out of the box, I was blown on my butt. I did not expect to be like, wow, like, and this is really, like, when I still look at this figure, I'm like, it's so awesome looking. You know, I'm so glad I did not pass it up. I'm also very glad, I got the Japanese version, but I'm really glad I got this figure. It's awesome, the detail. You know, we'll go on to this once we get up close and personal, but the figure's awesome, okay? Just take a quick look at it. Bam! Isn't it beautiful? Oh, so menacing looking. Love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So, let's talk about the box, and then we're going to get up close and personal. All right, the box. Typical 30cm box, right? You got your box art on the front, Godzilla vs. MechaGodzilla title, 1974. The back, it's your basic boring stuff, whatever. Inside of the box, you know, I haven't shown inside of the box for a while. Inside of the box is your basic plastic housing. Whoop-de-doo. Does it still smell fresh? Let's see, for a figure that's what, it's 2015? It still has a vinyl scent to it, but it's not as, you know, the freshness scent has long gone to the freshness scent garden of fresh, whatever the heck I'm saying. Alright, so that's the box, plain and simple box, right? Bam. I always make some notes, right? You know, so I don't need that anymore. I got everything out of the way, but the figure itself, beautiful. Again, the standard. If you notice, the first thing here, we have a base to go with it. That's pretty cool. Only a couple figures have bases. Godzilla 64 on a 25cm scale. Kumonga comes with a base. Who else has a base? 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 Base, 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 base. I think the Rodan should come with a base to help house their feet, but that's just me. Alright, so enough yickety yakking. Let's get up close and personal and get down to the nitty gritty of this. Bam! Alright, here we go. Sculpt and Detail. That's where we're going to start off with Sculpt and Detail. The sculpt is beautiful. MechaGodzilla is sculpted nearly identical to that of his suit representation from the same exact film. Godzilla vs. MechaGodzilla, 1974, if you didn't know that already. I think I've said it enough times, right? But The sculpt is beautiful. Every little ribbit, I'm going to stop moving them so you guys can get a good look at them. Here, one more time, just get a little bit more of an angle. Every little ribbit is just beautiful. Rivets along the thighs, knees, the calves, the chest, arms, neck, head, everything. There's rivets everywhere, really giving this figure a lot of pop. So a lot of attention to detail went into the sculpt. That's why we call it Sculpt and Details. It's all in one form. But as far as the sculpt itself goes, before we get into the finer detail parts, everything looks beautiful. Arms look great. The knees, legs, all the toenails. Remember, these are missiles. He shoots missiles from here. Everything looks phenomenal. The head, I think the head is sculpted probably the best out of all of the Showa MechaGodzillas. Okay, that looks so awesome. Just get a good look at that from the front. It's just totally, I mean, we're talking like precision here. Look at the horn on the head there. It is so, it's like right to the tip, pointy. Nice. Nicely done. Dorsal plates look great. Each one sculpted with precision. I'm telling you, now, this is, seriously, there's some serious precision going on here. Because we got a lot of jagged edges, a lot of sharp edges. The dorsal plates have the sharp edges. The tail, even in these grooves here. Because remember, when MechaGodzilla's flying, he's straight out. The tail's going straight out. So this accordion-like area here, that is sculpted beautiful. Okay? Legs look great. Arms look great. Again, this accordion shock system on the thighs, the knees, again at the elbows, and the shoulders. And that's the same on both sides. Okay, so we'll just flip them around that way. Again, from the front, shocks on all those joints. Look beautiful. I love it. So the sculpt, they really nailed it. X Plus seriously nailed this figure out of the park with the sculpt. Now, the detail, let me tell you something about the detail here. There is one feature I love about how much attention they paid and got it into this figure, is if you look here, look at the picture, because you're going to see it better in the picture, but if you look here, you can see along the back, where the tail starts, all these little wrinkles here, okay? Those are wrinkles that you found in the actual suit. They look beautiful. These little details is what I love most about X Plus. Again, look at the thigh here, on the back of the thigh, and just a little bit in the front. All these wrinkles. Well, now, whether they were there from, wear and tear, from after the film, but these wrinkles are present. They look beautiful. I know it's something so simple, but it looks seriously amazing. Again, down the tail, all wrinkles, because remember, this tail moved around a lot. There's some wrinkle going on. Some light wrinkles going on in the back. On the arms here, again, looks awesome. There's wrinkles. There's a lot of wrinkles. See, it was easier to hide these type of wrinkles on monsters because they had all these kinds of scales and everything going on. Now, in a robot, he's supposed to be a flat surface. You're not supposed to see wrinkles. Why? Because steel doesn't wrinkle, people. Not like this. Not on this kind of scale. It's a giant robot monster. There is no wrinkles. Black hole alien should have thought about that. Iron them out. I don't know. But again, wrinkles here. That is probably the most defining feature in the detail. It's the smallest feature in the detail, and it's yet the most defining, if you ask me. I love it. Again, here, let's look at it again. A little bit more on the arms up here. Looks beautiful. I love it. Alright, let's look at the face real quick. The face, beautifully done. He is menacing. You got these big robotic eyebrows, these orange beaming eyes, the horn on the head. It is just beastly looking. Evil. He's very evil looking. I love it. Every little piece of detail here is done with precision. That's a new word here. This is what we're talking about. Precision. I love it. The MG. Remember, this was MechaGodzilla from '74, so it's not MG2. MG on that arm. And again on that arm. On the forearms. Looks great. I love it. Detail is amazing. I'll tell you. Now, let's look at another little feature here. The chest. Now, if you remember distinctively the MechaGodzilla 2 from MechaGodzilla Counterattack, or some people know it as Terror of MechaGodzilla or Terror of Godzilla, the chest is different. But here you can tell. Go look at the difference of the suits. But this is... Oh, look, his mouth open. Looks really great. I love all this detail here. It looks awesome. There, everything, people, I'm telling you, this is a beautiful figure. Like I said earlier, I did not think I was going to be knocked on my butt with this figure, but wow, it is beautiful. Okay, so that is your Sculpt and Details. All right, paint job, paint job, paint job, paint job. Now, MechaGodzilla, all right, he's silver, sure, but if you look closely at this figure, you're going to see some light blue highlights. Can I see him? You know what? No. Yeah, a little bit to some. Maybe it's just the darker grays, but along the legs here, I mean, all right, there's definitely some highlights going on. They almost look kind of blue and metallic looking. It's definitely metallic, obviously, but, you know, the color is, it's not just some flat looking metallic silver, people. There is some serious depth going on here. Look up here. It's going to be hard, but under here there's some little light metallic blue highlights. Some over here. You gotta, the light has to hit it a certain way. It looks really, 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 really beautiful. I love the shadows on the arms, the shadows on the legs. Oh, it's just amazing. The paint job is amazing. I mean, it's like, again, what do I always talk about? Depth, depth, depth. This figure has a lot of depth to it. Paint job is out of the park. Knocked it out of the park. So, again, you know, there's really not much to the paint job, but there is so much to this paint job. It looks really well. Here we got some yellow there, yellow up here. Okay, obviously on the eyes, those are yellowish orange. And then these up here, his ears, or, you know, his brain canals, or whatever you want to call them, those are red. Okay, the MG on the arms, those are, like, I'm going to go with a brick red, because they're not flat red. Again, you know, they look legit. They got some of course they look legit. It is legit, but depth. Lots of good depth. Paint job is outstanding. So, you know, we're not talking about articulation yet, but because of the paint job, we got to crack that open. And in here we have the chest laser, and that is nicely painted too. And you got, you know, the red lasers. Those are well, obviously those red lasers. It's painted red, you know, from where the laser come from. Bam. Okay. Bam. We'll leave that. We're gonna leave that open somewhat because we're gonna open that back up again. But you know what? Let's go back to detail real quick. Look at it. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Bam. Just stay like that. Easy to come down. Okay. Really well. Paint job is good. The base. Let's talk about the base real quick. Let's move him off. Stay there. The base now. Detail and the paint job on the base. We probably could have talked about this last, but we'll just knock this out now. It's got some greens to look like trees and shrubbery, and it's mostly dirt. I like the fact that there's footprints there because, well, that's how, you know, obviously if the giant robot's walking on the dirt, you're going to have some footprints there, okay? So, and those footprints help keep the figure in its place. You know, it's part of the mold, okay? And then you got a piece here of a hill that the tail rests on. So this accommodates the figure very well. It looks great, okay? Bam. And on the bottom, that's pretty boring. Nothing special about that. Okay, so that is the base. So now that we knocked that out, turn it back around, get him on his base. I like the base. Now, while we're talking, all right, let's talk about the base a little bit more. Then we're going to get back to articulation and joints and seams. Do we need the base to stand? No. But what's the problem here? My situation, this is how he was when I got him out of the box. He's got this forward lean going on here. Let me move his back so you can see. So he's leaning forward. So what I need to do, what I actually have to do again, and what I did when I got him, I had to heat up these feet, get those ankles nice and soft, so he was standing like that. So those feet are supposed to be flat. Because the weight of the figure leaning forward, that's what happens over time. So I got to fix this before, you know, at the end of this review off camera. But with the base, you get him right there and he stands perfectly fine. But but still, he could lean forward enough, he's going to fall off the shelf, and that is not fresh, people. Not fresh, okay? Alright. Bam. Alright. Joint and seam. Let's talk about joints, seams, and articulation all in one. Remember, X Plus, they're not known for articulation. There was never an intention for articulation as a gimmick. That's what SH Monster Arts is for, okay? Articulation here is mainly because of how the figure was made. So, here, there's some we're going to go over the points of articulation and joints. And that's for each part of this figure. Here, there's 1, 2. Can you move the calves? All right, we've got the feet. I don't know. Those move. Nothing at the kneecaps, arms. There is a joint along the elbow, but you can't move it, so don't force it. Again, I don't know why you would want to force it or move it because you're not supposed to. This arm here, look at that. That moves there, but, you know, again, not supposed to. I'm going to tell you, if you move the arm too close, you're going to start rubbing the side right there of the body, and that's how you're going to scratch the paint job, and that's not fresh. Okay? So that's a joint. Joint at the elbow here. The hands have joints, and they move. Again, not intentional, but you could actually pose them a little differently if you want. Give them, I like that, actually. That looks pretty cool. Just like that, okay? Tail, no articulation or joints there, as far as I can see. Everything looks good. And I'll tell you what, if there was a joints here, they would hide easily with these accordion-like frills for the tail. So that looks great, okay? Again, another big joint seam right along here, okay? Again, joints, seams, articulation here. This opens up the laser panel like we talked about. Of course, I get it open up all the other times, but I can't do it when I'm freaking trying to do it. Ah! Look at that. Amazing, huh? There we go. See how I did that? Okay? The head rotates. I should do that with my hand behind so you guys can see. So you want to do that. But again, be careful because something's not supposed to. You could end up damaging the paint. The mouth opens and closes. Keep them closed. I like them closed because of more of a menacing look. Okay, so that is your joints and seams articulation. In total, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 joints, seams, are, you know, mostly joints and seams. 12, 13, give or take, whatever I missed here. Okay? You know, that could be 14. That's another joint seam. But that's it. That's the joint and seams. No articulation intended purposely. But, you know, there are some points. But, again, be careful, people. You don't really want to be moving these. They're not meant to be moved out of the mold that they were created to be posed in. Okay? Because that will end up unbalancing the figure, and then you're going to have a problem falling off the shelf. We don't want that. Not fresh. Okay? Bam! Alright, so we covered pretty much everything. We're going to go back to the table. Let me just, before we do that, let me just give this one more quick look over here. Make sure I didn't miss anything. MG, we got the paint, we got the detail. Again, I love the wrinkles. They give this figure so much depth. It is just beautiful. Alright? So, wrinkles are great. A lot of attention to detail there. Looks awesome. See, I gotta fix these feet like I just showed you before. Don't want him falling. See, he still stands with the base, but he's gonna tip over if I don't get him fixed. And that is not fresh, people. Not. Alright, so we're gonna go back to the table for final thoughts. Watch, look at this, look at this. This is live. Live review, real life problems of a collector. It's horrible. See, because I started messing with the points of and the joints and everything. Now I gotta get him to get his feet back in place. But he's good like that, right? Bam. He's got it all rested up and everything. He's looking beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna go back for final thoughts. Bam! Okay, hold up. We forgot to do a size comparison. So we got to do size comparison just to give you guys an idea of the size of this 30cm MechaGodzilla 1974. So what am I going to bring up? I'm going to bring up MechaGodzilla 74 from the 25cm scale. So now mind you, two different scales, and the 30cm he's standing on a ground base. So let's just say he was right there on that ground. As you can see, he is, now if we were, let's say we were talking meters in actual height, because MechaGodzilla 74 was 50 meters tall, I would say that the 25cm, in comparison purposes only, if this was RL, real life, the 25cm would scale down probably to about 40 meters, give or take, maybe 35. But they're in different scales. You know, you can clearly tell. There's no mistake about it. Let's see. What's the closest 30 centimeter? Let's do a quick 30 centimeter comparison. Let's bring up Baragon, because you're right here. We're going to bring up the 30 centimeter Baragon. Now, if they're on, again, ground level together, yeah, they scale up pretty nice. You know, Baragon stands a little bit shorter than MechaGodzilla, but, you know, they do stand almost the same height. But they are in scale, okay? So that is your size comparison, okay? Plain and simple. Size comparison's good. Now, final thoughts. I love this figure. I am really glad I got it. Again, as I said in the beginning, I was like, you know, I probably could do without it. You know, I could settle, I don't need it. You know, I felt I had already the 25 centimeter 74. I had picked up a second 25 centimeter 74. If you haven't checked out that review, it's the MechaGodzilla 74 with the secret base. And I also have back here another 25 centimeter MechaGodzilla from 1975. That's the Rick Boy. He's got the brain head. That's pretty awesome. But I was like, oh, I can do without it. So, short version, I wasn't going to get it. I got it, and I love it. I definitely love it. It's awesome. It's probably my second favorite. I really love the 25 centimeter Rick Boy with the brain, but this one is right on the heels of that. It's definitely certified fresh. Bam! To give this a figure, a score out of 10, you know, that's like between 1 and 10. 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. Definitely a 10. You know, there is really no issues with this figure. I'm so excited. Can you tell? Ha! Love it. Definitely 10 out of 10. So X Plus, MechaGodzilla 1974 from the Toho 30 centimeter series. Fresh Vinyl Review says 10 out of 10. Bam! Again, just to summarize, it is the original Japanese issue, not the Diamond reissue. No lean problem here. Love this figure. But I think that's about it. You know, so what else is there to say? Make sure you check out freshvinylhq.com. Hit me up in the comments section. Shoot me an email. You can find my email. Where can you find me? You know, wait. Go on to Fresh Vinyl Gear. If you're interested in buying a shirt, hit me up in an email and say, hey, Rich, I want a shirt. That's what you got to say. I want to be fresh. I want to join the Fresh Vinyl Army. Bam! Okay? But yeah, Fresh Vinyl HQ for more Fresh Vinyl content. I'm doing, again, I got written reviews, the video reviews. I'm building an X Plus database for all of these awesome figures here. So check that out. And what else? I feel like I'm forgetting something. I got everything. Buy vinyl! Fresh vinyl! Bam!